Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. It is a damn fine day to talk about a book, and I am. Uh, Here we go. All right, see if I get louder here. Did that get louder? I think it got louder. We're here for Beard Book Talk, where I show you what I read, what I got, what I'm gonna read. Didn't really get much this week. I think I got one shipment in the mail. Um, Actually, that's not true. Um, I got a hard cut. Well, I bought a lot of. I'm not even gonna grab it because it's over there. Actually, I might grab it. But so I did get the extensions from for my shelves. They only went up to the top one there, and then I got the extensions in the mail. Which I've never been able to successfully order anything from IKEA and have it delivered to me. But they kept having those extensions out of stock. So now I got those, and I'm gonna try to show you what we got going on here. So I got two shelves here, and then on the other side, let's see, let's see how this works. Probably not very well. So over here, we've got three of them, and we've got the extensions on all three there, and now on these two here. So that was weird. That was not very good. And I said I would grab that book. I'm not gonna. Anyway, I got a hardcover copy of Carrie. Um, I bought a lot on eBay. I paid like $20 for it. And it had book club editions of Carrie, The Stand, Pet Cemetery, and Firestarter. I really bought it because, like I said, it was $20, and I can resell those books. And the only one I needed was Carrie, and so that's kind of what I'm slowly doing. Like my King collection. Again, I've had King collections throughout the years, and then like kind of gotten out of books and dumped them and then kind of put them back together. So like, I will occasionally buy a lot on eBay that has a book or a couple books that I need, if I think it's good. But like I got another lot this week, and like I upgraded my Christine from a book club edition to a full size hardcover. I don't really care about first editions, and to be honest with you, when I look at the copyright page of a Stephen King book, I don't have that knowledge. I don't know how to tell you if a Stephen King book is a first edition or not. I know that there's a science behind it. People out there know. I've never really tried to gain that knowledge. But so, upgraded a couple. I think like I had a paperback of Lizzie's story or Lizzie's story. I don't know how you say it. Upgraded that one. So I did get some King books in the mail. But other than that, I just got a couple books here. And I'll show you those. But I don't know why I did that. I don't know why like I went ahead and shelved the Stephen King stuff that I got, but it is what it is. So stuff that I read, and this should be short because I didn't really do a lot of stuff this week. I finished Make Your Bed, a short book, Admiral William H. McRaven. Little things that can change your life and maybe the world. Got some. I was working on a window with that like great stuff, that like foam insulator stuff, and I got it all over my hands and I can't get it off. Anyway, I enjoyed this. I gave it 3 stars. Again, the self growth, productivity type stuff. I mean, it's got some really good stuff in here. He seems like while I probably wouldn't be the desired audience for like a military memoir type thing, because I don't do a lot of military stuff, and let's just be honest, a very left leaning, person politically. He seems like a really cool dude. Like I all these books are really coming out of Ryan Holiday, and if you haven't checked him out now, and you follow me, then that's kind of crazy. But you can look up like Ryan Holiday, Admiral McRaven, or William McRaven, like Ryan Holiday, William McRaven, and it's just the two of them walking around Holiday's bookshop and talking about books, and he seems like a pretty cool dude. Anyway, I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. I read The Sympathizer by Viet Thanh Nguyen. I liked this book, 4.5 stars. Liked it. Probably top three of the Pulitzers I've done. This was the tenth Pulitzer I've done. So this was 2016. Again, there was one year in there where there were two of them. Did you know that? I think 2012 they didn't have one. They did not have a Pulitzer winning novel in 2012. So anyway, I read this. I really liked it. It's the Vietnamese American Pulitzer. Again, they've all had angles, or they've all had, they've all been about subsections of the American population. This is post-Vietnam War, right at the end of Vietnam. America has pulled out, and it follows, um, our main character, who is like a captain in the, I get this wrong, South Vietnamese army, but he's actually a spy for the communist North Vietnamese. Anyway, it's a really cool book, and it shifts back and forth between comedy and horror in like, in like a single page. Really, really dug this one. So, and I read Poetic Nightmares by Carrie E.B. Black. My family is so. I'm going to go into this first. Um, my wife, first of all, is, like I said, she is really dug into reading. She has kind of adopted my leave the fucking news off, stop doom scrolling and pick up a book. And so she's starting every day with books. And of course, she's a professor, so this is her summer vacation, so she's really digging in. But she has gotten deep into Hermione. Do you know what Hermione is? I didn't know what Hermione was. I know now because she's probably read 4 or 5 thousand pages of Hermione at this point. And Hermione is, after the Harry Potter series. It's basically Draco and Hermione romance stuff. Some of them are, you know, so let's just say some of them are smuttier than others. But there's a whole world out there of fan fiction, and some of them are now being like actually published. But of course, they have to replace all the places and characters, right? Because J.K. Rowling or whatever won't let these books actually be published with her, I guess, intellectual property or whatever. So there's a whole world out there, and my wife has fallen down a huge rabbit hole with it, and she loves them. She says they're great. She says the writing is great. She says, because her and I and a ton of people love that world, love the wizarding world of, Harry Potter. I mean, regardless of what you think about Rowling and the stupid shit she says, so there's this whole world, and I'm not sure how I was going to use that to lead into this book. Oh, so they're rewatching the films. My son and my wife are kind of rewatching the films, and I try to be in the room with them when this is going on. But of course, I can't read a Pulitzer, and I can't read. I don't know, like I'm reading a book of short stories. I can't read that, because you got to meet new characters and whatnot. So I picked up some poetry, and I read Poetic Nightmares by Carrie E.B. Black. I liked this book, probably around 3 stars. I mean, I don't know that anything really like blew my mind, but I did mark some favorites, and I will be talking about this book in the near future. But this was sent to me. I think I've read another book by Carrie, and it was, I'm gonna call it A Herd of Nightmares, and it was short fiction, and I liked that one. I think I gave that one 4 stars. I think it's been a long time. And I think that's kind of her specialty. Like I know she's written a couple YA novels, but I think she's got 3 collections. And the only reason I know that is because I read the author information in the back of this one. And I think this was her first like attempt at publishing poetry. So I enjoyed this Poetic Nightmares by Carrie E.B. Black. Probably 3 star range. So those are the 3 books that I finished last week. I am working my way through the Seven Kingdoms, and I'm getting close to the 700 page mark in this. And like I said, if you follow me, this has been a real letdown for me. I mean, book 4, in my opinion, was horrible for its own set of reasons. So book 5 I'm kind of already in a mood. And I mean, again, I started this knowing it's unfinished, knowing it's never going to be finished, knowing that, at some point the story kind of breaks away from the show. But this has just been really, to be honest with you, unsatisfying. And that's probably my fault, but I bought this set of these nice leather bounds and I wanted to read them. I wanted to be able to say, yes, I've read the Game of Thrones series, at least to where it ends in book form, and I will be able to say that, but it's really been quite the letdown. And so what I need is I need you to tell me. So I loved. Now it's been 20 years probably, but I loved The Lord of the Rings. I loved Harry Potter. I mean, I love these things that put me into a different world. I need to know, some other series that I should try because this I got. I mean, I know that when I finish this, I'm gonna have a bad taste in my mouth for fantasy in general, and I don't think that's fair. So, I've thought about what is it, Robert Jordan, The Eye of the World. The only reason I've thought about it is because they actually have. I like doing big books in audio because I like my single audible credit to actually go towards something meaty, for lack of another way of putting it. But I thought about, The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, but I just don't know. I mean, the only reason I thought about it is because they've got the book at the dollar store in my very, very tiny, tiny town for like $3, like a big old thick paperback of it. But anyway, if you think there's some other series I should try, I'm willing to look at that. So I'm working on that. That should be done by the next time I do a beard book talk, which is a week. And same thing with this. Ego is the enemy. This is my self growth, whatever type thing. I'm enjoying this. I'm over halfway. I probably only do like 20 pages of these a day on my morning walks. And then I am pretty close on Graveside Gallery by Eric Goonyard. Enjoying this. It's my third, I think, Goonyard read. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. I'm sorry if I'm not, but I've done a couple other of his books, and I don't have the names in my head right now. I'll be sure and pull those out when I actually review this. But this is short fiction, and I'm enjoying it. Um, so, stuff that I'm going to read. Um, I've really only got 4 books left on my TBR that I put together for the month of May. My next audio, when I finish Dance with Dragons, is going to be Gates of Fire by Stephen Pressfield, the epic novel of the Battle of Thermopylae. When I finish Ryan Holiday, my next self growth type thing, and this is a longer one, which kind of scares me, is going to be Grit by Angela Duckworth. Most of those have been fairly short at this point. Trying to get one more Pulitzer in before the end of the month, and it is going to be All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This one in 2015. And then I've got one horror book, that I've identified for this month, and that's Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chapman. I think that I'm also going to try to fit in The Bedmakers by Chad Lutsky and John Bowden. I picked this up the other night, just kind of again in a non conducive to reading thing. I was like I can't read one of these books that I'm already like halfway in. So I picked this up and I read the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 pages, but I've had this for a while. I wanted to read it. I'm a huge John Bowden fan. I'm also a huge Lutsky fan. I've read probably, I don't know, 6 or so Bowdens and probably like 10 Lutskys. Was really, really, as far as when I was reading a ton of independent small press horror, I mean, these guys were the cream of the crop, from my opinion. I've read another one that they did together. I think it was called Out Behind the Barn. But yeah, so Probably going to fit this one in this month too. So the only thing I got was, again, when I'm in a place where I can't read, but I'm actually going to spend time on the phone. I try not to really do that on social media, which is probably good for my mental, state, but I do spend it on eBay, which is probably bad for my financial state. But I'll go to these places that I bought from that are buy two get one free, and just kind of peruse for stuff that I need. I was actually sitting in here, I think, because I was looking at the pa, Palahniuk. I actually looked up how to pronounce his name. I've read probably 10 of the guy's books, and I've said Palahniuk. I've said I think I would have said Palahniuk without looking. I think it's actually Palahniuk. Said it rhymes with Kalanick. So Palahniuk. Anyway, so one of these buy two get one frees. They had three that I needed, and so I picked up Lullaby. I picked up Pygmy, and I picked up Tell All. These are going to go straight to the shelf because I've already read all three of them. Although I will say that when I went down the rabbit hole with Chuck, after having read Fight Club, I mean, it's been fairly recent, like 5 or 6 years. Um, I would that was I found that when I was reading Polinick, I thought that I could read and drink at the same time. I'll just leave that at that. So I don't remember. I remember loving Fight Club, liking Haunted and Choke and maybe Survivor, Invisible Monsters. I remember some of these, not loving some of these, but I've read them, and at some point in my life, I probably owe, because I haven't reviewed like this a single Chuck Palahniuk book. So I probably owe some of these a reread at some point. But yeah, this has been Well Red Beard. That's it. That's my beard book talk. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you are reading the wrong damn books.